All right, boys. This one out the gate is nasty. Normally, I give you the build up, and then we say it, we show it, and I go, it's nasty. But this one, I almost feel like I gotta put a disclaimer on it to let you know how nasty it's about to be. So today, boys, we are taking the exotic pulse rifle Bad Juju. We'll be combining it with Middle Tree Stormcaller, which is essentially Chaos Reach, and the exotic of choice to pair with Bad Juju is, of course, Geomag Stabilizers. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Curse of Chaos. Ha! Man, it ain't even me on this one. Shout out to Paul on Twitter, who actually recommended the name for this build. We were already looking at this build yesterday, but I'm gonna be honest with you boys, I was having a tough time with the name. Curse of Chaos though, ooh, that's nasty. Now fellas, today's gameplay is gonna be split between PvP and PvE. I initially went into this thinking that this was only gonna be a build for PvE, who brings Geomag Stabilizers into PvP. But after going into PvP with it, playing a few matches, getting upwards of 8 to 10 supers per game, yes, that's right boys, 8 to 10 supers per game, I realized that this is definitely not just a PvE only build. Now first up, Bad Juju. We reviewed it yesterday. It's a 450 round per minute pulse rifle, but obviously the biggest selling point to this weapon is the exotic perk String of Curses. Kills refill the magazine. It also gives us a nice buff in damage there for a short duration, and if you got something like the Catalyst, of course, that duration lasts for 5 seconds. But the biggest thing here is the super energy that it grants you, which is what's playing a ginormous role here in us getting 8 to 10 supers per game. Now, of course, we're also rocking 5 super mods, so by default, our super regeneration time has dropped tremendously. It almost feels wrong rocking this many super mods. But to just top it all off, and the reason why we chose Chaos Reach to begin with is because of the perk Ionic Trace. Defeating enemies has a chance to create Ionic Traces. Collecting Ionic Traces grants energy to all of your abilities. Now this is for your grenades, your rift energy, but also for your super. Meaning when you combine it with something like Bad Juju and you're consistently getting kills, you can imagine how quickly we can get our super here. But just to top us off boys, to allow us to get supers even quicker, we also have the perk Close Enough on Geomag Stabilizers. When Chaos Reach super energy is almost full, sprinting tops it off. Also damaging enemies with Chaos Reach extends its duration. So realistically, you only got to get about 80-85% of your super. Once you reach 85% of your super, you just sprint it the rest of the way. Now, once you get your first super, this is when the snowball just takes off, man. You see, on the Chaos Reach subclass, it states that unleash a long-range channel beam of concentrated arc energy while active. Press to deactivate Chaos Reach early and save super energy. Now, originally when Forsaken launched, this was bugged. Even if you deactivated Chaos Reach immediately after activating it, you would pretty much eat up your entire super. Like, it left a small smither of a super there. Now though, you can easily keep 30% or more of your super, which results in us maintaining a super over and over again. You gotta understand guys, if you're keeping 30% of your super and Geomags essentially eliminates that top 15%, realistically, we only have to get 55% here. So whatever the kill equivalent is of that 55% is all we have to put in. But when you got something like Bad Juju, which is essentially doubling the amount of super energy we're getting with Strings of Curses, and we got something like Ionic Traces, which is also feeding us energy, essentially boys, what ends up happening is you can get back-to-back supers within 20 seconds easily. This was actually me in PvE, and I was getting supers about every 15 to 18 seconds. From the moment I stopped my super to the moment it got topped off by Geomags. Now obviously Crucible is a lot more variable considering how many enemies you have presently in front of you, but if you take something like competitive, this was a survival game essentially on Pantheon 2.0, and I was opening up every single round with a Chaos Reach. Essentially, I would just run in there and get a kill. My goal was just to disrupt the other team, get a pick, and there's really no easier way to get a pick than with a super, right? And what ultimately ended up happening is after each round, my super was back. I had it again for the next round to go right back in there and get another pick. And look, the reality is it is very cheesy to get single kills with a super, but that's the whole point of this build, man. Curse of Chaos is all about some cheesy stuff. Everything we're doing here is positioning us to constantly have lightning being shot off as much as we possibly can. And for something like PvE, Gambit especially, when you get matched up with blueberries that are not pulling their weight, having an extra 1 to 2 supers per round before you even reach DPS phase is extremely convenient. And like I said about Bad Juju yesterday during our review, yes, this weapon can do good in team-based environments, but the main thing about it, it is the ultimate solo weapon. I have not felt more powerful than I have felt today, with the dress on of all things, as a solo player than with this build and Bad Juju. Now, some other things that can make this build a lot better for you, obviously the 5 super mods, but if you also have something like enhanced ashes to assets, this is also extremely convenient. I really like storm grenades on the warlock class. I think they're very powerful. With something like enhanced ashes to assets, my god, it can give you a tremendous amount of super energy off of just 1 grenade. And the beautiful thing about these Geomags, they actually roll with enhanced bomber, which gives you a faster grenade cooldown when using class abilities. All of these things, guys, again, they just synergize with each other. On top of the 5 super mods that we have, everything is designed to get us our super back as quickly as possible. So guys, that is our build, Curse of Chaos. Like I said previously, yes, we will definitely be reviewing this weapon, Bad Juju, with other exotics as well as other subclasses. I specifically got one on the Hunter class that we just have to try out. So be looking out for that. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.